All right, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back for season number 2 of Backyard Bookies. For those of you who don't know, me and my boy Scott here go through its football season, college, NFL. We're a little bit degenerate gamblers over here. We like to pick our games. It adds a little interest, adds a little spice to life watching these games. So we go through, pick our games, give you some of the best bets of the week. For those of you who followed last season, we have a little bit new of a format here. We're going to have a standardized format, make it easier for you, the viewer, to enjoy, follow, keep track of. We're going to start off with 3 normal bets, $20, $40, and $60 bets. Low confidence, medium confidence, high confidence with those bets. Then we're also going to have our lock of the week, a $100 bet. We were really strong last year with $100, Scott. It was pretty crazy how good we were with the locks.
Yeah, I mean, we were sitting around 70%. So, I mean, if you want to pick any games that we pick, Lock definitely wants to go for. So, hopefully we can give you some good picks this year and keep that train rolling. But I think we got some good picks this week at least.
And you know what? Not just to throw anything else off, we got a little underdog pick. We're going to have a money line bet plus 200 or greater. For those that want to live life on the wild side, I know I like to throw down a little bit of cheddar on some crazy games. It's nice. You feel really good when you pick that upset. You hammer that upset. I know you had a real big one last year with Alabama in that SEC title game. Everybody was on the dogs, but the dogs got their revenge, so we're going to look like that. Let's kick it off, Scott. What is your first bet? You've had this logged into action all week. You told me don't look. To keep it a surprise, I'm going to be surprised. Shock me here.
All right, so for my first bet, $20. I think it's 20 to win, around 18. I think it's a little less than minus 110, minus 112. Arkansas, minus 6. Like you said, the $20 bets are kind of the lower confidence ones. This is kind of a game where, we sort of know what we're getting with Arkansas. They're going to be pretty solid, good SEC team, but Cincinnati, we just don't really know exactly what we're going to get with Desmond Ritter, moving on to the NFL. Arkansas, they lost 2 of their big receivers as well to the NFL. So could be a very interesting game. Arkansas is at home, and the line has moved up a half a point. Means
Still in the
bettors
tub.
are picking Arkansas. So like I said, this is sort of a toss up. Looking at action, 71% is on the spread for Arkansas, 29% for Cincinnati, and then money line's kind of split down the middle. I think most people are trying to take that extra value with Cincinnati, just 55% at plus 210. So a little bit of value there, but I think I'm going to take Arkansas minus 6, see what happens. That SEC team at home, first week, usually they come out swinging. So those Arkansas fans are pretty rowdy there. So I know they're probably excited to have football back too. So hopefully Arkansas can win by a touchdown and we can start off the season $18.
Strong. All right, strong. Like I said, I hate week 1. Week 1 is so hard, especially in college, the NFL too. It's so hard to get a grasp. You really don't know guys who are coming back necessarily, who are the starters are, unless you're really following these teams. I picked this bet up earlier this week listening to my podcast, Straight Out of Vegas on Fox Sports, their gambling podcast. Everyone's on this game, and I grabbed this line, and it's fallen almost 3 points here. So I'm loving this pick now. Texas State at Nevada. We're going to go with the Bobcats. They were one of the worst teams in college football last year. Bottom in offense, bottom in defense. But I scooped them up at getting 4 points here for $20. They told me to hammer this bet. It's all the way down to plus 1.5 now. So the Sharps are loving Texas State. I don't know what they have. They must have a quarterback or something. Nevada already played a game. They won last week. So it must be something. The game is in Nevada, too. It's in Reno. So they must know something I don't know here. So I'm just going to ride with it, man. I'm going to listen to the Sharps here. I was really looking for a $20 bet one, and I'm feeling good. Texas State, kind of a local team. Why not? Let's go Bobcats here.
Interesting pick. Yeah, I didn't realize it was, plus 4 and then came down 3 points. That's a pretty significant drop. So I like to pick there at $20. For my second pick, we're gonna take UCLA minus 24.5. I got this at minus 107. I know it's a lot of points, but Bowling Green, I think did they already play one game? No, they didn't. They haven't played a game yet. I mean, UCLA has a pretty proven quarterback, Dorian Thompson Robinson, with Chip Kelly at home. Um, that extra, 3.5 is a little scary, so you got to win by more than 3 touchdowns. A little scary there, but line's actually gone down to 23.5. Not really much to say here. I just really like this matchup here. I think UCLA can get it done by a pretty big margin. A lot of people on Bowling Green though on Action. Action actually has them 51% Bowling Green spread. So could be interesting. Hopefully Chip can put into work here and we can get a big cover and win $40. So I got UCLA minus 24.5. Really just for the reason I like the matchup.
Yeah, that's a good match. I mean, that's fair. It's a big number. It's a little scary. You don't know necessarily with UCLA. I'm gonna head down SEC again. SEC home team, your national runner-up, Alabama Crimson Tide. They got the Utah State Aggies coming to town. They don't have a fondness for the Texas A&M Aggies, so maybe Utah State. They get little rife there. Utah State played UConn last week, and they only won by 11. They won 31-20. They were 24-point favorites. They were down 14-0 to start that game. Nothing really sharp from Utah State, but I'm not going to touch this spread here. It's 42 right now. That's a big number. It's a little bit of a mystery here. I really like, though, over under here, 62.5. I think it's a 62 I took. Under 62 points. Alabama's offense, bringing back the Heisman Trophy winner Bryce Young. Got an elite defense out there. This Alabama team was really good last year. They're going to be 1,000 times better this year. If they don't, I will be floored if they don't win the national championship this year. I think this is one of the best teams Nick Saban has had. I think they hang a nice 50 piece out there, 51, pull the starters, this, that, and the other. And that defense is going to suffocate Utah State. I don't see them getting more than a touchdown here. So we go 51-7. There you go. We're at 15-8 right there. It's 62. I'm feeling really good about an under here. I don't think it gets too out of hand. I'd be shocked if Utah State can put up a couple of late touchdowns. I just don't think that's in Alabama's DNA. Their backups are starters half the country, it feels like, maybe 2/3 of the country, Alabama's defensive backups. And Nick Saban prides himself on his defense. They're going to keep that score low. And I don't think he's going to run this thing up too much. 50 points, let the offense move a little bit. They have a big game in Austin next week. They don't want to show too much. A big game, I say. It's going to be number 2 or number 1 versus an unranked team. But it's a big game on the road, so not going to show too much of the offense out there. So I like this game at $40 here. Under 62, big number to go over. I think they keep it manageable.
So I actually do have Alabama, not one of these picks, but in another pick, I have a parlay with Alabama with the spread because we know they don't cover 50 points, but they can cover 40. So 41.5, I feel like was a pretty
That's a decent
doable. I mean, Bryce Young will probably come out first 3 quarters, do his thing, and then Utah State gets a late touchdown or 2 at the very end that could kind of up in the spread a little bit. So it is a little bit of a risk. They could score. Alabama could score 60, but who knows? I mean, you only know this first week. Utah State also had a horrible start against UConn last week in week 0. It'd be fun to watch. For my $60 pick, so I almost feel like we need a segment on this show that's Scott's pick of the week that doesn't make any sense, makes sense but makes no sense. This is going to be that pick
against the grain.
Big game. Ohio State, Notre Dame. Obviously, we know Ohio State's ranked 2nd. We know Notre Dame's ranked 5th. When we look at the win totals, I think Notre Dame is maybe 8.5 or 9, something like that, over under. So they don't expect them to win, as many. Nearly, I mean, they expect maybe lose 3 games. So the starting number 5 is maybe kind of a little overblown. They will lose a few games. Their ranking probably will drop. So I don't think they're quite as good as the minus 17. Or they're. I think they are. Basically, what I'm trying to get at is Notre Dame will not cover 17. For some reason, I think Ohio State's just going to blow them out by about 21 to 28 points. I don't think Notre Dame's as good as they could be. I mean, Marcus Freeman, has that bulletin board material on the wall. That minus 17, he knows his boys are going to come out and try and win, but they're in the they're in the shoe against two potential Heisman candidates. But yeah, 2 against 5, -17 doesn't seem quite right. So you think you would take the +17. I can actually look at the numbers here too. See what we got here. Yeah, so 59% on Notre Dame. So most of the bettors are taking those points and running with them. But for some reason that does make sense to take those points, but I like to take the opposite when it makes too much sense. So we're gonna take Ohio State -17, $60 to win around looks like about 50-ish dollars, 52 maybe.
Well, Scott, my $60 bet is I'm going with the grain here. Notre Dame getting 17. It's now up to 17 and a half I just looked at, but I'm going to stick with the 17 here. Ohio State notoriously not a strong team to start the season. They really tend to hit their stride towards the back end of the schedule. They've had multiple opening games where they've been upset. This is not a super strong team to start early, especially against ranked opponents. Like you said, Notre Dame is probably overranked here at number 5. I hate preseason rankings. They're stupid, but it helps you sell games. Nobody should be ranked until week 3, honestly, than when you have a real grip on the team. New starting quarterback. I love head coach Marcus Freeman. He didn't even know they were 17-point dogs into this game when being interviewed this week. I saw that interview. He's like, what? We're 17? No sort of feel. I love the new swagger that he's bringing to the program. I think Notre Dame does lose this game. Ohio State's going to win this game, but I think it's a closer game than Ohio State likes. CJ Stroud, you got to get used to little things on that. New wide receivers really coming in there. They lost their top 2 wide receivers. So a little bit of adjustments for Ohio State. It is the first game of the season. They do struggle a bit. Notre Dame is bad against top-ranked opponents. They don't beat them. They get blown out sometimes, but they've been a lot better than most people think. So I like Notre Dame here getting 17 points. I like Ohio State to win this game comfortably. 14 seems like a good number here. The 17 and a half is super juicy if it's still out there because that's 7, get the hook right there. So 2 touchdowns and a field goal seems like a good win for them, especially late. They pull this thing away and maybe Notre Dame scars a Garbo, which tends to happen. So I actually really like the Irish here. I don't think they'll get run out of the building, but they are going to lose this game. Ohio State's a very strong football team, but I just think 17 is way too big of a number here. There's another game, Georgia-Oregon's a 17-point game that I wanted no part of because I have no idea on that game because Georgia could run the gauntlet through them. So be interesting to see. I like the Irish. It's week 1. I'm hoping they prove me right. They could prove me wrong, but it now makes our $60 game very exciting between the two of us.
Yeah, this game kind of had those same vibes as the Alabama Georgia game I picked last year. Georgia was just a team that everyone was on. I picked the opposite, so I don't know. It could go either way. I mean, 17 points is a lot, but for some reason, it just makes no sense, but makes all the sense in the world for me to pick Ohio State. We'll see what happens. It's gambling, so
no film. It's all part of the point. All right,
exactly.
Let's move into our next segment. Let's go to our underdogs. Who's your big underdog this week? You got plus 200 or greater here to steal some money.
Yeah, so as we know, like week 1's kind of like the preseason in the NFL. There's not really too many close matchups. There's usually pretty teams that are ranked playing, pretty bad teams out there. So there aren't too many big plus 200 or greater out there. It's that make any sense.
I mean, there's a plus 1,000. You get a plus 1,000 out there.
Plus, there's thousands out there if you want to pick those, but there aren't too many like really decent close matchups that you can kind of pick that are around plus 200. So I kind of scrolled down a little bit. This one kind of stuck out just because it was a little closer to the plus 200 and 2 decent teams that could potentially be 500 or above teams. I have Mississippi State and Memphis. Mississippi State is -16. Pretty significant, and I think it's actually gone up 4 points since I picked this game. Memphis on action currently is plus 520. Got him at plus 475. So if that tells you anything, Memphis probably won't win this game. But it's fun to I sprinkled $15 on it in Pennsylvania just to see if I could win $75. But really nothing to say on this one. This is just kind of a gut.
It's our dog.
Gut pick here. I mean, even looking at the spread, let's say 63% on Mississippi State money line 91% is on Mississippi State. So this just looks so lopsided that hey, could happen. Who knows?
It could happen.
Vegas knows something. They want to put a line out there, and maybe they just think Memphis is going to win. Who knows? But not much to say. Neither team's played so far. We haven't really seen anything from them. I don't really know too many players on either team, some coaches, but I guess we'll just see what happens. That it's in Mississippi State, some cowbells. 6:30. It's on Saturday.
More
We'll see what happens. I mean, Memphis is usually a run and gun kind of team. They've been kind of notorious the last few years, kind of on the football, but we'll just see what happens. I got $15 on it, and
Real life.
We'll just see what happens.
Yeah.
I've got Memphis plus 475.
I had a couple games I looked through here. A game I was titillated by, I'll say. Old Dominion and Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's playing at Old Dominion here. Both teams were 6-5. I don't think Tech's anything crazy out here. And Old Dominion seems like, home game, distant. But I'm going a little bit out of the reach here. I'm going with a bad team against another bad team. Temple at Duke. Duke is not a football school. They are a basketball school. 3-9 last year. Temple also really down 3-9, which is kind of odd. Temple used to be a pretty solid program under Matt Rule. So I got them at plus 220. They've moved up to plus 275 here. It's a 9.5 point spread. 6 o'clock game. I'm sure there's like 7 book nerds that will be at this game for Duke. Temple might have more fans there. Who knows? You just don't know with this. It's going to be an under. It's going to be a low-scoring game. Everyone on Action is hammering the under here. So low-scoring games tend to favor teams that, for an upset, if you want to sneak an upset in. It's just going to awkward game. Like you said, week 1. Who the hell knows week 1? You have no film on anybody. You're really just guessing. But Old Dominion, Virginia Tech, another one I was looking at that was interesting. There are a couple other ones. UTSA, I don't think was quite plus 200, but they're getting 4.5 at home against 24 Houston. That's
be close now.
Yeah. So interesting one. So like you said, this is just fun. Week 1. I like that you got real scratch on the cowbell game over there. That's interesting. But let's get into the juicy part, which everyone's stuck around for. Everyone's been waiting for. Give me your lock of the week.
Oh yeah! Let's go, baby! Let's go!
So I'm a big fan of the Kellys this week. I need both Kellys to come through for me because I got LSU minus 2.5 in the swamp. A team that has really been struggling the last I don't even know how many years, 4 years, 5 years since famous Jameis was there. Hasn't really been a very good team without Jimbo and Jameis Winston. So Brian Kelly to come through for me minus 2.5 in the swamp. Florida State's already played one game. They played Duquesne. That's some team out of Pittsburgh that
Did you see?
Has some dude that doesn't know how to wear pants. I mean, they played a bunch of idiots over there. They had no business even being on that football field with the other power team. So good for Florida State getting that win, 47-7. Great job. But yeah, they're coming into the swamp playing against Brian Kelly, who's now a Louisiana native.
Valley. LSU's Death Valley, Scott.
Whatever, same thing. It's a swamp either way.
No, it is. Louisiana is a swamp.
My apologies, but
no, don't worry. It's a good setup.
They got Louisiana native Brian Kelly out there, with that accent. He's gonna do pretty well, I think. Looks like on Action. I mean, we're looking 86% in LSU, and money line 83%. So nobody believes in Florida State. Only got to win by a field goal. I think they can get that done. I think Brian Kelly can pull through here and get that win on Sunday or Monday. Sunday, yep, they're playing Sunday.
I like
so
it.
Hunter to win. I think it was minus 2.5 when I got it. Was minus 124. I think it's gone up to minus 3.5. So it's a little less than normal. So I think it's a Hunter to win like 81ish. Yeah, they got to win by field goal for me. A little more than a field goal for the rest of the public.
All right, that's good. I like it. SEC team again. Speaking of swamps, we're heading to the actual swamp. We're heading to Florida. And these were your golden children last year, the Utah Utes. in the Swamp against the Florida Gators. Get only 2.5-point favorites. Number 7 team in the country. I love this line. It's now up to -3. Utah, a road favorite at the Swamp. SEC teams tend to be strong at home. I just don't feel any heat from Florida. This Utah team plays like an SEC team. Power run game, smash mouth football, good defense on top of it. I think they're your favorites to win the Pac-12 this year, the last year of the Pac-12, it seems like. I love them. Only got to swallow 2.5 points. They can win this game by a field goal. I am loving Utah here at 100. They're at -112 to get them. 70% of the bets on Utah. People are feeling it too. You are a little concerned with the SEC at home. You know, there tends to be a parity, but I think this Utah team is for real. They're bringing back most of their starting cast from last season. They finished the season very, very strong. They scheduled this game to get into the playoff. You win this game, you win the Pac-12, you're getting into the playoff with one loss probably. Honestly, they'll probably get a reprieve here because it's a strong out-of-conference game. A lot of teams don't get those strong out-of-conference wins. And I got to give them credit going to the Swamp. People don't want to play at these places. So I think this is going to be a very good Utah team all year. I think they're underselling them. People are high on other teams like NC State and shit like that, Pittsburgh. I don't think any of those teams are for real. Really like the Utes here. I think they win this game. I wouldn't be surprised if they ran Florida off the field. I just think Florida has been kind of a dumpster of a program the last few years. They can never seem to get the offense figured out. They go through head coaches like it's nobody's business. So I think they're really going to try and find their identity. They did finish stronger towards the end of the season last year, but coming off of 6-7, you know, really not that good. The SEC East is not the SEC West. It's a lot weaker of a division. I mean, Georgia's your top dog, obviously, literally, but not really feeling any heat from Kentucky and Vanderbilt over there. So I like Utah in this game. -112, so 100 to win, like 80. Let's see. I can't even pull up my bet. Whatever. But yeah, I like the Utes -2.5. It's up to 3. Feel a little less confident at the 3. You know, probably get a push. Probably safe to get a push here at the 3. So yeah, I'm rolling with the Utes.
There's just a few teams out there that has, you know, those pretty steady quarterbacks. You know, obviously we're looking at like an Alabama, you know, Ohio State, USC maybe. But yeah, but Utah with Cam Rising, he is someone who can play some ball. Hopefully he's decently healthy after his injury in the Rose Bowl. But people love him in Salt Lake City. I wanted to pick the game, but I didn't want to be a homer. Nor did I really like that line. It just didn't seem right to me. I felt like Utah should have been more of a favorite. So something I just didn't seem quite right to me. But yeah, if you're playing at Florida SEC team week 1, I mean I like either pick. I wasn't gonna pick that spread. I was gonna stay away from it, but I do have the over in that one. I think it's 52. Let's see what we got here. I think it's 51 actually. 51. I got 25. Yeah, 51. So I think they can cover 51. Both teams are gonna score. I mean, if both teams can score, you know, 4 touchdowns apiece, that's easy. But I don't know, we'll see. I'm glad you're picking. So I'm glad I can root for the Utes with you.
Yeah, homer. It'll
be an interesting game.
I'll do the homer pick for
you.
Thank
you for that. Appreciate that.
Yeah. All right. Let's run them down. Let's run down these bets for you got. Give me all your bets you got for this week for the people out there to keep track of.
So we got. We can also look on action. We both have our action bets up. So if you don't want to just listen to this part, you can always check our
I'll
action.
Put the link in the description.
Yeah. So I got Arkansas -6.5. Arkansas -6 for the $20 bet. The UCLA -24.5 for the $40 bet. We have Ohio State -17, the $60 bet. Memphis with the upset +475. Probably won't happen, but it's fun to do. And lock of the week, LSU -2.5, now at 3.5. Actually put $100 on it on the Barstool Sportsbook. So all of these bets are actually placed. So this is real money this week. So this isn't just imaginary money like last year. I'm trying to make this a little more real. So
all winnings will be donated and funding this production.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I'll go straight into the pot. All right, let me run them down for me. Your $20 bet, Texas State +4. It's all the way down to only +1.5 against Nevada. So I wouldn't touch that at +1.5. Just a weird game my experts gave me that I was looking for here. $40 bet, Utah State at your #1 Alabama Crimson Tide. Under 62 points. Expecting Bryce Young and the offense to roll and the defense to suffocate. It's going to be close. I'm probably going to sweat this one out. Probably going to be about 60, but I think it's just low enough. $60 bet. I'm taking the Irish opposite you at the shoe, getting 17. It's up to 17.5. Like that even more now with that extra hook. Hopefully, CJ doesn't do me wrong. I've been a big supporter of CJ when Ohio State fans wanted to get rid of him. So win this game, CJ, but don't win it by too much here. My underdog here, Temple +220. Up to +275 now at Duke. Who the hell cares? I think the game's on Friday night, actually, so it'll give you something to check in on tomorrow night. And lastly, most importantly, my lock of the week, I'm going with the Utah Utes, -2.5 on the road at the Swamp against the Gators. Lots of SEC action for us, but, we got a little SEC bias. So surprised. I'm surprised none of us touched the Aggie game here. The actual Aggies here. I think it was 30.5.
Is there even is it? I bet say, is there even a spread?
Yeah, it popped up this morning. 30.5 against Sam Houston. Weird game. I don't know if they cover that line.
It was a weird game. I don't know either. That's a tough one. Yeah, 30.5 over under 48.
Sam Houston State, good team. Good FCS team you can play.
That's a tough one. I mean, even the 48. I don't know. I think Sam Houston State can play a little bit, so that should be an interesting game.
Might be
with
a little bit lower scoring, but especially with the quarterback questions for A&M. So that was great. It's great to be back, Scott. Week 1. Every Friday we record these things on Thursday, so rolls out every Friday. Next week NFL kicks off. Lots more action for me to get my grubby little hands on. I love me some NFL games all the time. So hopefully we do good again this week. We need to start the season off on the right note. We were kicking ass last year. Let's keep rolling it in, and it's good to be back.
Yep. Next week I'll be on the road, so you'll see me in a hotel room somewhere. But yeah, I probably won't be able to watch too many games next Saturday, but I'll definitely take full advantage of this week with Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and a Monday game. So we got the whole entire weekend plus some. So really excited we're back. Hopefully we can continue our big hot streak we had last year. So just keep it going.
Yep,
it's fun.
The loyal viewers love us. So again, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're already not. Let your friends know if they want to be degenerates like us. So I know a lot of people out there. You'd be amazed how popular sports gambling is nowadays. But again, like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video with your friends, and we will see you all next week.